It is the 23rd of September, 2022. It's about 1:15 in the afternoon. I'm posting my testimony, my experience here in hell as one of the peculiar people, and all the acts of genocide and war that I'm experiencing at the hands of those who belong to the Canadian Bar Association and the BC Law Society. So I'm going to set up some boundaries because there seems to be a problem with lack of education as to the rights of my peculiar people. So I'm looking at the Act for the Preservation and Enhancement of Multiculturalism in Canada. This document speaks of the Constitution of Canada, that every individual is equal before and under the law and has equal right to equal protection and benefit of the law without discrimination. Everyone has the right to freedom of conscience, peaceful assembly and association, and guarantees those rights and freedoms equally to all people. Then further down in the document, it claims that Canada is a party to the International Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination, which convention recognizes that my peculiar people are equal before the law and are entitled to equal protection of the law against any discrimination and against any incitement to discrimination. And yet, isn't it funny? That's exactly what I experience all day, every day, and I have for years because of my race. I belong to an identifiable group known as the peculiar people. This act continues on, and it says the International Convention on Civil and Political Rights, a convention which provides that people belonging to ethnic or linguistic minorities shall not be denied the right to enjoy our own culture or to use our own language. So every word out of my mouth is my own language. It's protected speech. Racial discrimination is an international convention that Canada is a party to. Under Article 5, it talks about the right to equal treatment before tribunals and all other organs administering justice. Yet isn't it odd that I've never received that protection here at all, ever? Not when my son was abducted at 5, chosen immediately because he was highly marketable to be trafficked at 8 years old to pedophiles here in Canada. Apparently, I'm supposed to have the right to security and protection by the province of British Columbia and all actors acting as that coven against violence or bodily harm, whether inflicted by government officials or any individual group or institution, and yet I'm constantly being attacked and violently assaulted by those acting as Victoria Police Department and those acting as Saanich Police Department. So it looks like all these pigs believe that they're above the law and that they're never going to be held accountable, because those acting as the BC Attorney Generals here in British Columbia are all compulsive liars, and they're all indictable crime-committing criminals. Apparently, according to Part C of this convention, I have every right to take part in the government as well as in the conduct of public affairs at any level, and to have equal access to public service. And yet I'm constantly being denied public service constantly because of my race, because of the hatred from my peculiar people, which my brother prophesied about when he was here 2,000 years ago. Prophets. That's who we are. And this thing goes on in Part D to say that apparently I have the right to freedom of movement and residence. I have the right to leave this country and return to where I was sent from. Apparently I have the right to own property alone, and yet my inheritance, which is my property, has been stolen from me. Right. So apparently then I wouldn't have the right to inherit, which is apparently in this covenant convention. I have the right to freedom of thought and conscience. I have the right to freedom of expression. Okay. I have the right to freedom of peaceful assembly and association, yet I can guarantee you that there's not one member of the Canadian Bar Association or a member of the Lawless Society of BC that has ever afforded me a right to peaceful assembly or association, because they keep coming at me with acts of barratry. And then they turn around and lie about me when I go and try to hold them accountable, that I'm a vexatious litigant. What the fuck is that? Did anybody hear the call I made yesterday to that satanic savage Greer Jacks? And now I've got some witch acting as the BC Law Society slandering me? Oh, fuck, I don't fucking think so. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to make a call to Daniel Carroll of Fulton Company in Kamloops. Daniel Carroll has committed application and title fraud to steal my house from me. Then Daniel Carroll decided to embezzle the entire inheritance, $750,000 from me, and most of my personal chattel, gifting it to the two Asian abominations who laundered $750,000 through a fraudulent foreclosure, because they never had title to my home. And now enough time has passed that I've caught them all, because I prophesied this would happen, and that's what was happening before it actually happened. So let's give a call here to Daniel, because I'm privately prosecuting Daniel Carroll, and Daniel Carroll is refusing to engage. And so we need to deal with Daniel Carroll right here, right now. And so let's call and see what Daniel Carroll has to say for itself. Daniel Carroll, this is Victoria Nevens calling. You'll be calling me back at 250-661-0610, because we're going to be discussing your crime of application and title fraud to steal my untouchable in-trust private property and then embezzle the $750,000. What did you do with the $750,000, Daniel? Because you're going to be answering those questions. So you need to be informed that I am going to be privately prosecuting you for every single indictable crime you've committed against me and my family. No one's going to stop that process from happening. You're a criminal, and you're going to go to jail. So I have a number of questions for you, and you're going to answer them all. You are forbidden, Daniel, to hire a liar to defend you, because you have no defense for what you've done, and I don't associate with liars. Besides, Daniel, you're the only one with the first-hand knowledge of what's going on here. So you're going to be speaking for yourself. So because you've left me with no money, because you stole all my money, forcing me into sexual slavery against my will, I've been raped multiple times, Daniel. Can you explain that behavior? Now, I've just filed a complaint against you with the Lawless Society of BC. Now, I know that's not going to go anywhere because they're all liars. Compulsive liars just like you are, Daniel. You're a perjurer, Daniel. And we're going to deal with that. So you need to be informed that I will be seizing the satanic ritual that you and David Nashahara ran on me to steal my home. So two Asian abominations could launder $750,000, because it's a real problem here in the province, Daniel. Are you not aware of the Cullen inquiry, Daniel? You're going to be talking to me. All these calls are recorded. This call right now is being recorded. I'm going to be posting it on my social media platforms because I'm exposing you for who you are and what you are. You are a danger to society at large, Daniel. So before the end of the day, you are required to e-transfer to me, to the following email address, $5,000 of your own money. Because actually, Daniel, you've stolen my entire inheritance, leaving me with nothing, because you hoped I'd commit suicide. Whoops. Don't think so. That's not how I operate, and you don't know who I am. You've made the biggest mistake of your career in your life, because I am going to literally destroy you. Because that's my job. That's where my training is. I'm King's Counsel, and however I choose to identify, you have to respect that, because that's society today, Daniel. That's society today, Daniel. That however I choose to identify, you have to respect that. So if I inform you that I'm King's Counsel, and I'm not referring to that thing in the UK, that thing, that animal in the UK, that has no power at all, that's pretending to be a king. No, I'm referring to the one who sent me down from above, Daniel. He's your judge, and he's been building a case against you for years. That's why he's had you attack me. Yeah, that's right, Daniel. So if you just missed what I just told you to do, you have to follow my direction, because I'm your victim. You're a genocide-committing criminal. You're going to be e-transferring me today, before the end of the day, $5,000 to Dolly73 at protonmail.com. Now, if you don't do that, Daniel, that just adds more proof of who you are and what you are. You're a compulsive liar. You're an absolute disgrace. You're a disgusting, you're a demon, Daniel. No wonder your name starts with D. And yeah, we're going to be talking, Daniel. We're going to be talking all the time, because I'm your prosecutor. You understand that? That you're going to go to jail? And so was everybody in your office who aided and abetted this crime? Going to jail, Daniel. You're not above the law, Daniel. Nobody is. Do you, Daniel Carroll, understand? Before the end of the day, you are required to provide me my necessaries of life, because you stole everything from me. And now you're going to be held accountable. Before the end of the day, Daniel, I have to keep repeating myself because you're deaf, because you're already dead. I know, Daniel, I was around you. I got a whiff of you. That's why I got so close to you in court that day. You didn't understand what I was doing, but I got a whiff of you. You're one of the dead. You actually reek like one of the dead. You couldn't even have a shower before you showed up in court. Your breath smelled like shit, Daniel. That's why I got so close to you. That's how fucking stupid you actually are. And that fucking sewer rat, that fucking David Mashahara. What a joke. You two are finished, Daniel.
You've reached the maximum length for voice messages. Goodbye.
Well, let's see how that goes. So what you need to know is, during that satanic ritual at the end of January 2020, when I went into court and I'm like, no, there's a trust here. You have no jurisdiction over this matter. This is a private family matter. You can't steal my house by way of application and title fraud. I'm not a client of CIBC, my spouse was, and I'm not responsible legally for any of the debts he owed, and it says it right here in the trust. It says it right here in the trust in fucking black and white language. A fucking retard could understand it, what that trust says. So there's a break, right? We have a break. Master Hera needs to go and fucking do something disgusting and stupid, because that's what they do all day. These sewer rats acting as these lawyers and these judges, these justices. So we're in the hallway, Daniel and I, and so I'm asking him some questions, and he starts to freak out, right? Because I'm way too intelligent for these fucking sewer rats. And that's why they demand, have you talked to a lawyer? Do you have a lawyer? You fucking heard that call yesterday with Greer Jacks, didn't you? They won't talk to me because I'm too intelligent. Right? They want me to have some fucking animal with a fucking bar card because they don't want to deal with me. Because they can't argue with me. Because, fuck, I tell the truth. How are you going to argue with the truth? So we're in the hallway, and fuckface starts to get real fucking nasty, eh? Which he always is. He's like, I don't need to talk to you. I said, well, isn't that why we're here? Isn't that why we're here? You want to argue about the truth? Listen to me. You cannot touch an inheritance in Canada. My spouse bought a house in the district of Saanich in 2003. He left it to me. Mortgage-free, in a trust fund he created in 2016. That's how you protect your assets. My spouse wasn't the owner of the home. Once he created the trust fund, the beneficiaries are, and none of the beneficiaries are clients of CIBC. So Daniel Carroll draws up a fraudulent fucking document claiming I owe $40,000, and if I don't pay it in fucking 10 days, he's going to come and steal my house. And that's exactly what they did. They showed no fucking mercy, and now they're going to be showed no mercy, and I'm not going to fucking stop. I'm going to absolutely destroy this fucking sewer rat, and you can be fucking guaranteed of that, and you're going to be a witness to it all.
Oh my Christ. Oh Lordy. Please excuse me for some reason I can't turn this off.